Where I do agree with you is I firmly believe we shouldn't have brought Amorim in November. I think that was a mistake. I think we've burnt his reputation. And I know he says, oh, I got to look at a load of players. But you know what? That's a great point. And it's a shame it's at the end of the show. But I will say this. In the summer, on the US tour, Amorim spoke about how it was good to come in early because he learned about all the issues and now they can solve the issues. We didn't solve the issues. So why did he come in early? Mic drop. Absolutely. Like, I never liked the idea that we brought Amorim in November because he got burnt. Like, we lost so many games. He lost his aura. He lost his, new signing sort of manager thing. And unfairly, people wanted him sacked before he'd even had a transfer window or a pre-season. Comes back from the summer break, says, you know what? It was a great thing that I had that time to assess the squad, even though we all know he didn't want the job till the summer. But it hasn't worked, has it? You came in November, you got absolutely slaughtered, the team got battered, and maybe it would have been worth it if all the problems had been solved that you found out. What's basically happened is you come in November, the team get battered, the press turn on you, some fans turn on you, but the positive is, that midfield shit. You come back for pre-season, you want a midfielder, you don't get one. What was the point in November to the end of the season? Why did he have to go through all that if he weren't going to solve the problem he found that we knew before he even came in? So where I would agree with you is we may as well have kept Van Nistelrooy till the summer as an interim, or stick with Ten Hag till the summer, which is what I would have done. I would say here, thank you very much for the comment, by the way, because I never would have said it. I would question, what was the point in Ineos and the Glazers' insistence that Ruben Amorim came in November? Why were they so obsessed with it? Because any advantage from that, they ignored. The only advantage was get to know the team, find the weaknesses that we can then know about going into the summer. Well, we knew about them. Goalkeeper, midfielder. We didn't do anything about them. Goalkeeper, last day of the window. So I don't know why they were so insistent that he had to take the job in November. Look, if I was employing somebody to come and work as a chef in my restaurant, which I don't have, and I could get them in 6 weeks early to, learn about the place and everything like that, instead of bringing them in opening night, of course I would. But if I'm not going to listen to any of the learnings, what's the point? And it's a great point there. Well done, that person who put the comment in. Why did they insist on Amorim coming in so early if they weren't going to give him the full backing he was going to learn he needed? And it's a great point. No point at all, says Red. And again, you don't hear this being spoken about, do you? If I was sat there on one of these bloody talk shows or whatever, I would be saying, you know what, in hindsight, the media have turned on Amorim. People never shut up about his system or formation. There are certain fans in the United fan base who want him gone. And all of that is because Ineos and the Glazers brought him in November and hung him out to dry. And the only reason that would be worth it is if in the summer you listen to him and solve all the problems. And they haven't. So what was the point in that? In a way, they've burnt their own manager, haven't they? Naively. And he's under huge pressure now. And look, let's hope miracles can happen. I'm firmly behind him, but it's difficult. It is difficult. And can I be the chef at the Goldbridge Arms, says Robert. If I was opening the Goldbridge Arms, you'd be a great chef, Robert. The big concern I have is universally, you very rarely get rival fans, media, ex-players, and you, the United fans, all agreeing. Like, I speak to a Villa fan in the street, I'll speak to a mate who's a Liverpool fan, I'll turn the TV on, I'll read an ex-player, I'll come on here, and everybody is saying, why didn't they get a midfielder? Spoke about Paul Scholes last night, but everybody is saying, why didn't they get? And that is, you can brief Sky Sports that Jason Wilcox didn't want one, and Jason Wilcox can take one for the team. But Jason Wilcox needs sacking if he thinks we didn't need a midfielder, because everybody else in world football knows we needed one. And they've dropped the ball on that. And the trouble is, when you start losing games, I was speaking to a Villa fan, funnily enough, and they said, we've had a bad start to the season, but really, if we win the Europa League, we're back in the Champions League. That's all that matters. And I said, that's a great way to be. But when you're getting smacked up at home in the league, your fans will soon forget, well, if we win the Europa League, that's all that matters. It's the same with United. People now will be saying, it's not Amorim's fault, he didn't get a midfielder. I know, you know, we've said this many times before. In 2 months' time, when you're getting battered at home to Spurs, it ain't we didn't get a midfielder, it's Amorim out. Because people will go, well, you didn't get a midfielder, but you should still be doing this. And this is the problem. The owners get away with it all the time.